The tight end class for the 2025 NFL Draft is loaded with talent. And one of the more under the radar, underappreciated tight ends in college football is Iowa's Luke Lachey. NFL Draft Stock Watch, his stock is up. I'm going to discuss this and more coming up next.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Locked On family? Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parsons. You can find and follow me on X at DP_NFL. I'm a senior draft analyst, and thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and everyday shot for being our everydayers, man. We have a fun show, NFL Draft Stock Watch from summer scouting, getting into some offensive players. Luke Lachey, Iowa from tight end. I'm going to tell you and discuss with you guys why his stock is up for me. Wide receiver from going from Washington State to Texas Tech, Josh Kelly, and then Miami former quarterback Tyler Van Dyke was at one time viewed as a first-round prospect. He is now the new starting quarterback for the Wisconsin Badgers. So we're going to talk about his stock as well. But guys, before we can do all of that, we got to talk about the fact today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As playoffs wind down, the sports aren't sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Iowa tight end Luke Lachey is one of the more underrated tight end prospects in college football right now. And not only is he an underrated prospect, right? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Iowa is tight end you. Okay, they're tight end you. Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle. Like there's so many tight ends. Sam Laporta from Iowa. Luke Lachey at 6'5", 253 pounds is the next guy up. And for me, guys, when I watched his tape, I came away so impressed with the movement skills, the smoothness as a route runner against man-to-man coverage, especially against zone defenses and shells. He knows how to find soft spots. He's a big athletic target. This is a former high school basketball player who was nice on the hardwood. I'm talking dunks, alley-oops, blocking shots. Like you hear the term when you hear basketball folks talk about a quick second jumper. That was Luke Lachey, a guy that can go up, block a shot, feet hit the ground, get back up and elevate and block another shot. He was that type of athlete. And just watching him play on the field, like he has the look and build of an NFL tight end. He plays both the Y and F positions, the Y being the more traditional position in line, but also can play the F where, hey, if you want him as an H-back off the ball, you want him in the slot flexed out, you want to move him around pre-snap, you can do those things. He can play traditional or he can play as the move tight end as well. He's probably more of a traditional tight end in terms of alignment, but the pass catching ability gives you that type of feeling. Like, man, I like what he's going to bring to the table. A guy that has great ball skills. Talking about basketball, that advantage of playing in the paint as a big man in the game, right? That power forward, center type. When in high school, what do you do as a big? What do we see big post players do? They play in the post, know how to box a guy out on rebounds, right? But also seal a guy, box him out for a paint entry touch. He knows how to. I'm talking about a guy with a great catch radius, again 6'5", long arms, can jump, can play strong at the point of attack with the ball in the air, right? High pointing in those contested catch situations, but a guy that knows how to run routes and get open. I really just am impressed with his overall skill set as a receiver. He has enough speed to be a vertical seam runner. Talk about a guy that knows how to find the void, to find grass against zone defenses and get to the soft spots for his quarterback. 100%. Luke Lachey is going to give you every bit of that. And he's a plus level zone blocker, a guy that knows how to use your momentum against you, wash you down the line of scrimmage, right? Take that lateral step, get his hands inside the rib cage or underneath the armpit, and go ahead and wash you down. Now, things that concerns or whatnot, in that territory. He's coming off an ankle injury, right? That ended his 2023 season early. I believe he only played 3 games, and I think it was only 1 snap. I think it was the first snap that he played in the 3rd game is when he got the ankle injury. Excuse me. And so, coming back, you want to see how he moves. Does he still have that trust in the ankle, right? Because we all know, like, a lot of times, yes, certain lower body injuries like ACL, Achilles, MCL, PCL, LCL, whatever, quad, hamstring, those things can zap a player of athleticism, dynamic ability, explosiveness, right? We know that happens, but a lot of times with injuries, it's more mental than physical for guys to overcome. Those hurdles are more mental. I want to see him come back mentally and be ready to rock and roll and just be a baller, because I think this is the season that he should be the number 1 passing target in this offense, right? K. McNamara coming back. He also got hurt last year. There's no Eric All. He shared the field with Sam Laporta before Sam Laporta went to the NFL, right? At the end of the day, we know that Iowa, they spent most of 2023 punting. Their punter was like a mid-round pick for the Chicago Bears for good reason. He's a great punter, and he had a lot of opportunities and experience punting because they couldn't move the ball. They could not, without the run game, they couldn't pass the ball, and they couldn't score. I think this is the year that we see him take that step, and you want to see him become that guy. 80 receptions, 1,000 yards. You hope to see that from a pass catching talent like Luke Lachey. I think lower body strength he can improve, right? Get a little bit thicker in the lower halves to become more of a more impactful vertical run blocker, running the feet, right? Displacing guys in the run game. If he went to a team that wants to run more power, which a lot of teams, I think 17 of 32 teams in the NFL, if I remember seeing the stat correctly, are running zone. So either way, right? But teams are being multiple in their run game. So it's like, hey, you still got to show that when you're on the field, you can do both. You can zone block as well as gap scheme, man or down blocking as well. I think the explosiveness and twitch off the ball leaves a lot to be desired. He's an explosive athlete that can get up vertical. But when you ask, okay, can you just explode off the ball with just immense quickness? Can you go from 0 to 60 like a Lamborghini? No. But he might be more of a truck, F1, F250, that once he gets on the interstate and gets that stride going, yeah, I can run past guys. I can separate from guys vertically. And I think he has that type. But again, I mean, just looking at what he's going to do, his stock is up for me. This is a guy that I ended up giving a right now. And again, this is just off of very low production. Just looking at the NFL skill set and tools, I gave him a day 2 grade right now, and I gave him a 2nd round grade, actually mid-2nd. This is a talented player, and I'm calling my shot on him, guys. NFL Draft Stock Watch for tight end Luke Lachey out of Iowa is up for your boy DP. I truly believe that he's about to enter the 2024 season with expectations for himself to be the bell cow of that passing offense, or the point of that passing offense. And if they feed him quality targets, high volume targets, we can see a guy that might work himself in to round 1 with better production and, of course, taking care of the draft process. But, guys, let's get into wide receiver now, from Washington State to Texas Tech. Josh Kelly, older prospect, but what does he bring to the table? And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to discuss why he kind of gives me a little Puka Nacua, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp type of eyes. We're going to talk about that and more coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. And the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Guys, as we prepare for the NFL and college football seasons, go ahead and get your bets in. Go get your bets in preseason for MVP, Heisman, college football playoffs, NFL playoffs, you name it. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. Guys, go ahead right now and head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. Why? Because FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Wide receiver for Texas Tech, Josh Kelly, listed at 6'1", 195 pounds. A young man coming off a season where for the Washington State Cougars, along with Cam Ward as a quarterback, he was targeted 92 times, caught 63 receptions. He had 933 yards receiving, averaged 15 yards per catch, and he had 8 touchdowns. A guy that is versatile in his alignment. More so, he played a ton of outside, but he did showcase the ability to win in the slot and being the inside receiver out of 3-by-1 sets. And you count 1 to 3, 1, 2, and 3. He's the third receiver in the trips or a 3-by-1 set, right? And for me, watching Josh Kelly, the things that showcased and popped up on tape to me, this is a nuanced winner. You're talking about a guy that knows how to win with route running. He plays at his own pace. A guy that's skilled, understands how to set defenders up and finding ways to beat them at the break point. Got breaks, okay? I'm talking, he went to the dealership, give me a set of new ones because he's got some good breaks. And it shows up when you're running those stop routes, those curls, hitches, comebacks, working back to the quarterback, but being able to have the suddenness to, hey, he knows how to sell the vertical routes, makes every route look the same, right? That's what we teach our wide receivers, make everything look like a fade until it's not. And he does a great job of that. So being able to press vertical and then the suddenness to stop on a dime, snap off the route, and then work back down the stem and be available to his quarterback. Love that type of ability that he brings up. Very patient in setting up his DBs on mesh concepts. So you talk about the crossers, right? You want to run your defender who's in man coverage into some traffic. Well, you don't, when you got releases, a lot of times you see guys release and see multiple receivers release. It's not intended that they all release off the line at the same time on every single route concept or every single passing play. No, sometimes you have to tempo your release and let some other guys release first, so then you can run, especially if you're playing outside, a little bit more condensed split. You got a slot receiver, close by. Then when you go and run that shallow cross, that mesh concept, now your defender who's playing off, giving you a little bit of soft coverage, now you can run him into linebackers, into another crossing pattern that's coming through, and then you can work free and get open for your quarterback. Love his spatial awareness on these underneath routes, right? The sense of defenders that's closing in, and he knows how to quickly evade them and get yards after the catch. Also, yards after contact. He's got good contact balance, and he's strong to be able to to absorb contact, stay up on his feet, and get yards up the field. Now, just continue to kind of go short area quickness and suddenness. Again, really love it. And then the ball skills are tremendous. Late hands at the catch point, but they are so reliable. Now, you talk about, okay, DP, what are some of the drawbacks? Well, again, he's probably going to, I don't have the definite date of birth, but he enrolled, I believe, in 2019. So that puts him around 23, 24-ish, right? So, of course, older prospect, right? Cooper Kupp was 24 years old when he was drafted. And so I'm just saying. But dynamic and explosiveness, he's not a guy that's going, even though he sells the vertical playing well, he's not going to outrun and threaten guys with just pure blazing speed. He's more of a tempoed, nuanced type of guy, just like I talk about in basketball, right? Luka Doncic isn't going to dribble the way Kyrie Irving dribbles or dribble the way Damian Lillard dribbles, right? That quick twitch, explosiveness, suddenness. No, I'm sudden when I need to be sudden. I'm going to lull you to sleep. I'm going to rock the baby, and then I'm going to be sudden, right? And that's how he wins. Again, the long speed to win the vertical plane on the outside. just isn't there for him. And I think facing those long arm athletic NFL corners in press alignment could be a little bit of an issue for him. I want to see him use his hands a little bit more in press against press alignment. But again, even in the NFL, I think 75% of defenses now are running more zone than man coverage. So then you run into that, right? So either way, he works and understands how to find his spots, right? You're talking about being a savvy route runner, a guy with great spatial awareness, a guy that knows how to find the vulnerable areas inside zone defenses. He can do that with no problem. Work the middle of the field. He can do that, right? And he's got a dog in him. He's got he's got some talker in him. You know what I mean? You see it when he makes the big catches. You see him jaw back and forth with DBs and run block. He's a good run blocker too. A guy that's very willing to stick his face to the fire and really get physical. I really appreciate his game overall. A guy that I ended up giving a kind of mid to late third. Again, I think if he was a little bit more explosive, a little bit faster, he'd probably be a second round pick for me. But still, yeah, I think listen, NFL, this is not the type of receiver that you want Sean McVay to get his hands on. We've seen what he's done with Cooper Kupp. We've seen what he's done with Van Jefferson in flashes. We've seen what he did with Puka Nacua last year in 2023 as a rookie. Josh Kelly has that same type of game to me where it's more quickness, short area quickness and burst and acceleration than pure unbridled speed. It's more tempo, nuance, suddenness than just not erratic, but chaotic vertical speed, right? He's not going to beat you like Tyreek Hill. He's not going to beat you like Jalen Waddle. He's not going to win his reps that way. He is going to win his reps by giving you a headache because it's hard to get hands on because he's constantly moving. If you give it play off coverage or soft coverage, he's going to gain ground and get upfield and enter your airspace as a defensive back and then release and get past you. He's nuanced. He's savvy. That's how he wins. He has a veteran mindset on attacking multiple coverages and alignments. So for me, this is an NFL receiver. This is an NFL playmaker. I'm telling you now, guys, if you talk about a guy whose stock is up and trending up for your boy DP here, it is Texas Tech's new wide receiver, Josh Kelly. And one thing about it, they say the Big 12 doesn't play defense. Well, if he goes now going to the Big 12, I think this young man could have, and in that air raid offense that they run over there, I absolutely can envision him out there balling out and torturing those defensive backs in the Big 12. But stock up for me for Josh Kelly, wide receiver for Texas Tech after he transferred from Washington State. Talented, savvy, nuanced, veteran, just not the best athlete. And nonetheless, to me, I think the path is this. He can play the Z spot for you, but he also can play in the slot. I think you give him a two-way go with his releases, with his route running, with his tempo, patience, break point, suddenness, everything else that he brings in his bag. Hey, you got yourself that can be what, 80, 90 target guy in the right offense. But guys, you're talking about being in the right offense. Quarterback from Miami transferring to Wisconsin, Tyler Van Dyke. Talk about a guy that needs to be in the right offense. We're going to talk about his game, discuss his game. And is his stock up or is it down? We're going to talk about that coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace for or of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And summer is almost over, guys. Dads, moms, summer's almost over, which means the kids are going to go back to school soon. So how about you use this last couple weeks or so, depending on how much time you have, book a trip out of state if you want to go to your favorite out of state MLB park. But if you have an MLB park in your town or in your state, make a trip and go there and enjoy it with the family. Guys, Game Time helps you take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. Quarterback Tyler Van Dyke now with the Wisconsin Badgers after being a Miami Hurricane. And God, this is a young man listed at 6'4", 227. He boasts and offers an NFL prototypical build. He looks like an NFL quarterback. In 2021, he came off a season that had everyone excited for the rest of his career and said, man, this is a potential first-round pick. 326 attempts, completed 202 of those passes for 62% completion, over 2,900 yards passing, average over 9 yards per attempt. His average depth of target was 11 yards. He had 25 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Well, things just kind of fell off, and this is why his stock has been trending down and is down for me right now, but has the opportunity to go up. In 2022, 62.7% completion, a little over 1,800 yards passing. Yards per attempt was down to 7.3. His average depth of target went down from 10.7 to 8.7. He threw 10 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions. In 2023, 65.6% completion, 2,699 passing yards on the season. His yards per attempt went up a little bit to 8.1. He threw 19 touchdowns, this time 12 interceptions. Okay, 12 interceptions, and his ADOT was about 8.4. It went down for the second straight year. So when you look at what he brings to the table, when you look at this young man, where he excels and where he's good at, to me, this is a vertical passing game type of quarterback. He's experienced. He's a functional athlete. He can make throws on the run from the pocket with legitimate NFL arm talent. He has the arm to drive the ball into tight windows, to push the ball down the field, and create explosive plays. You're thinking about the Bruce Arians offense of no risk it, no biscuit when he was coaching. This will be an ideal fit for me. Tyler Van Dyke has a legitimate NFL arm. Velocity, zip, and also distance down the field, outside the numbers. He can make throws on the run. He can create from his legs. He can move and navigate the pocket well, especially in the face of pressure. Here's where the problems are. Poor decision maker, puts the ball in harm's way, doesn't protect the football, doesn't have integrity in that regard, not trustworthy there, right? And he stares down reads. He does not utilize eye manipulation or move coverage defenders with his eyes, right? We see the veterans, the guys with all the experience do it. They stare at that free safety at single high, stare down the barrel, they lock eyes, make eye contact. Then you look them off, make them go towards the left side, to your right sideline, his left, and then you throw the goal ball back to the left because your guy got 2 steps. Yeah. You don't see enough of that from Tyler Van Dyke. You want to see more consistency just as a player overall, in my honest opinion. This guy has the talent to be a starting NFL quarterback, and a good one, but talent can only get you so far. Consistency is going to be key, and the consistency a lot of times with players, or just period, it stems from mental. And I want to see him. They're going into more of a kind of an air raid offense that they have over there in Wisconsin now. Not the same ground and pound, but good offensive line, solid weapons, decent running back in the backfield with Chez Malusi. Yes, I think he can get it done and make plays, but the Big Ten has some of the best defenses in all of college football. You think about Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan. I think Michigan State's defense is going to be improved, right? You bring in Oregon, okay? You're bringing in Oregon. Yes, Oregon's one of the best, and they got Jabbar Muhammad, my guy. Yes, it's a lot. And so for him, Tyler Van Dyke's stock is down right now. But again, I do believe there's a chance for him to elevate and raise his stock, right? And I think when you are in this Luke Fickell offense, and everything, when you are a veteran quarterback, just in general, it helps your case. Now, again, I'm looking at their schedule here. He's got to test early. Third game of the season on Fox. 11 a.m. Camp Randall Stadium. Alabama comes to town, right? You know they have some doubters to prove wrong. Then he has USC right after that. Then you have Purdue right after that. Then you have Rutgers, who has two of the best linebackers in the country. And to me, they have arguably the best linebacker duo in the country as well, and one of the better safeties. Also, Northwestern's defenses are pretty good. Then you got Penn State. They come to Camp Randall. You got Iowa. You have Oregon. You got Nebraska, Minnesota. This is a tough schedule for Wisconsin. This is a tough schedule for Tyler Van Dyke. But if he's able to get it done, I'm not saying go out there and throw for 400 yards each in every single game. But if he can go out there, protect the football, keep those interceptions under 5 or less, right? 2 to 5 interceptions, but let's get 25, 28, 30 touchdowns, 3,000, 3,500 yards, right? Pushing the ball down the field, making plays with your legs, doing the things that we saw you do in 2021. If he can be a reincarnated version of that, guys, I'm telling you now, his stock will be up. But right now it is down, coming off of 2 down seasons and going into a conference that is loaded with talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see. But that's NFL Draft Stock Watch. Talking about Tyler Van Dyke, quarterback for Wisconsin, Josh Kelly, the new wide receiver over for Texas Tech, and Iowa's returning star offensive player, tight end Luke Lachey. Guys, thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. Guys, Keith will be back with me tomorrow. We're getting into some training camp news. We're talking about training camp stock watch. Whose stock is up right now? Who is literally trending forward and making the plays that we absolutely need him to see? Is Quentin Johnston? Is Quentin Johnston on the rise? Is his stock on the rise? We're going to talk about that, guys, on tomorrow's show. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.